Gents, can I kind of filter you a bit to the left here? It's just so you can see these two beautiful boys up on stage. If you can come right to that end there, yeah, it's just so that you can... It's good. All right, Jamie, how you doing? Jamie McDonald in the house?
Well?
Good, good. Guys, let's hear it for Jamie McDonald, Appleton Estate Rum Ambassador. Yeah. And we also have his good friend from the Hawksmoor, Ali Reynolds, as well. Give him a big round of applause. Okay, this is indeed the Appleton Estate Dream Team up on stage. These gentlemen have got some great drinks lined up for you with some ice spheres and cubes, some beautiful Mai Tais. Okay, who's on the panel? Let's find out. Judge number 1, we have Martin Kate, okay? He's from San Francisco, and all the way from San Fran? All the way from San Fran. Hold on, let's give him this. Good, there you go, they can hear. All the way from San Francisco. What brings you here today? Obviously Rumfest.
Rum, yeah, you got it.
All the way. It's here for some vodka,
I'll travel anywhere, yeah.
You're not here for the vodka, no? Okay, yeah, Martin runs, do you want to tell the guys a bit about what you do, my friend?
Absolutely. I own a bar in San Francisco called Smuggler's Cove, dedicated to the world of rum, featuring over 400 premium rums, vintage cocktails made right, as we love to say. Currently, Drinks International on Wednesday named us number 24 in the world on their top 50 bars in the world list.
That's the only tiki bar in it, isn't it?
It's the only tiki bar on the list.
It's not bad. That deserves a round of applause. I told you we had some heavyweights. Good stuff. Great to have you here, Martin. Thanks very much for being here. Our judge number 2 is a gentleman called Robert. How you doing, Robert? Nice to see you.
I'm well. How are you? The rum is good.
All the way from Miami. Jesus, man. It's an international rum fest we got going here. Okay, yeah, Robert, you run the Miami Rum Renaissance.
Yeah, a little thing we have in Miami called the Rum Renaissance Festival.
Yeah?
Not unlike...
Sorry, Renaissance.
Renaissance.
Renaissance. Sorry, Renaissance. Sorry, guys.
It celebrates the fact that rum is entering a new period of enlightenment and enjoyment and awareness. And it's a week-long festival of rum in Miami. If you like rum and if you like Miami, come to the Rum Renaissance Festival.
Excellent. Another Lum River. Let's hear it for Robert Barr from Miami.
Yeah.
Also on the panel, we have Pete Holland, who is another distinguished guest here today at the Appleton's Rum Debate. Pete, you run the Floating Rum Shack.
We do.
Another award winner, yeah? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, we're a rum-focused, consumer-led blog. We want to big up rum to the UK.
Nice.
We want everyone to be involved. Rum is fun. Yeah.
Yes, isn't it? Yeah.
Sure. Oh, and we're international. We come from High Wycombe. Yeah. Whoa! Just outside the M25. Yeah.
Nice. Woo! Guys, let's hear it for Pete Holland. Good. TheFloatingRumShack.com. Go and check it out. Yeah, it tells you how to enjoy this stuff.
So for those of you who don't know what a Mai Tai is, Mai Tai means Royer, means out of this world, the best. We'll go into the history of it in a minute. It's a rum-based cocktail. It's very classic and tiki origin. It's got curacao through it, which is a brandy or orange-based liqueur. We're going to explain 2 of those as well. It originally had a rum, our rum, which was a 17-year-old Ray nephew. It's got sort of tropical citrus flavors that work with it. Almond. We also have some rock candy syrup. We've actually made some rock candy syrup so that we present the drinks that way. And fresh lime. So, quite some time ago, and I'm going to read you out a little summary. There's a great tiki god called Beach Bum Berry. And throughout his time, he was fed up of going to bars and trying to order one of these drinks, made classically in that style. And what he was getting was drinks that had orange juice through them, pineapple, grenadine, all imaginary colours. We can do blue Mai Tais now and again for a little bit of fun, but when we want the drink, we want it classically made. So there's been the debate going on, who and what. So if we take it back to the beginning, we have 2 tiki sort of godfathers. We have someone called Raymond Beaumont Gant, Don the Beachcomber, who supposedly, or purportedly, made a Mai Tai, created it in 1933. What he created was a drink called a Mai Tai Swizzle. And that Mai Tai Swizzle, I hope, as far as I'm correct, then lost itself through menus. It was never really used, didn't have any accountability after a certain amount of period of time. And that drink ended up being, sometime later, on the beachcombers Mai Tai. So in 1944, Victor Bergeron, or Trader Vic, as we all know him, and you know the Trader Vics from the Hiltons and the Park Lanes, or if you go around the world. Trader Vic, 1944, created a drink called the Mai Tai. And he had two friends come into the bar, Ham and Carrie Guild, and they'd just come back from a holiday, and he wanted to present this drink to them, a drink they'd been working on. And he used this wonderful rum, originally, which was a 17-year-old Wray Nephew. Now, Wray Nephew is nearly a pure pot still rum. The rum we have now, you'll all know it as Wray Nephew Overproof. It's about 97% pot still. It's very funky, as Jamaicans talk about their rum. There's a lot of molasses going through there. There's a lot of fruit notes. It's very, very rich. It's quite zingy as well. So the original rum that Trader Vic was talking about, although we don't have a longer aging on our Wray Nephew staple, his rum, it was particular. He wanted those woody notes that came from it. It was nutty, and there was a lot of a zingy character to it. And that's probably coming from the molasses that we use at the distillery. Now, can we make an original Mai Tai as it was? Well, we can't really. We don't have a 17-year-old Wray Nephew. There are some people in this room that might have a 17-year-old Wray Nephew. We found a cachet some years ago.
Where? Nonsense.
It was a lovely rum.
Did they?
In fact, yeah, there's about 12 bottles found.
Nice.
I do know one in the UK is being sold right now for about £8,000 or £9,000, I heard, cash. And they are valued between £20,000 to £24,000 insurance value. The Merchant Hotel in Belfast, they were given one of these bottles. And if you've ever heard about their Mai Tai, they made one of the most expensive Mai Tais in the world. They used their own orgeat that they made themselves, because you can get commercial orgeat. We're going to use commercial orgeat today. An orgeat is almond rose water.
Shame on you.
Trader Vic used commercial orgeat, my friend. And if it's good enough for the Traver, it's good enough for us, to be quite honest. Thank you very much.
How do you guys prefer your Mai Tais? Or your Wray Nephew?
I have to say I prefer it the Trader Vic.
Yeah?
The original. We've got remixed at home amongst the other Beach Bum books, and I completely agree that Beach Bum Berry for us is something of a hero. I mean, it is kind of cool to be sitting here with Martin Kate as well, actually, on the stage. A little bit of hero worship.
What about me, man? Not cool to sit with me?
Sorry, so what was your name again?
So, Pete, man, put your mic a bit closer. Yeah, it's good.
So we make ours at home quite regularly. For reference, we tend to use Smith & Cross, but we also use Appleton. The interesting thing about this is going to be the mix of dark Jamaican with an aged agricole, a VSOP agricole, the way that Beach Bum Berry has it created.
Yeah, little switch up between the two, you're getting different flavours and notes.
The balance, and it varies greatly. So what's the right way of doing it? What is the right way?
Yeah, exactly. Each to their own, isn't it? It's quite a debate, though. It's been historically quite a feisty little debate. What about yourself, man? How do you take it?
Well, let's see. I take it with, we make it at Smuggler's Cove with a blend of Jamaican rums, trying to capture both the combination of the age and the pot body. Because the 12 isn't that heavy in body. It's got a nice oak, though. It's got a really wonderful oak, so we try to put something in there with just a little bit more pot still to give it the richness. So we use a blend of Jamaican rums. Secret blend.
Well, I discovered the best way to enjoy Wray and Nephew. And I was in Jamaica doing a zip line through the rainforest. And there's a good reason why they call it the rainforest. Because it rained for 4 hours. And I was completely soaked and a little cool and chilled in the end. And I ran down the hill, and there was a little rum shack with Wray and Nephew. And I had a nice shot of that Wray and Nephew after 4 hours of being rained upon. And I discovered what that really is for. It brings you back. It reinvigorates like nothing else possibly could. So I recommend next time you go ziplining through the Jamaican rainforest and you're rained upon for 4 hours, have a nice, healthy shot of Wray and Nephew in the end, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Thanks very much.
We're obviously trying to get you to taste the Mai Tai as well. We're going to be making a few here, a few different ones. So again, if I explain this recipe, we've split, it's 25 mils Ray Nephew, it's 25 mils Appleton Estate 12-year-old. Minimum aging is 12 years old in that bottle. Like I said, tannin, wood. It's not heavy on pot still, it's very, very smooth. But that rich flavour complements this zinginess, that nutty note.
Okay.
We've added 10 mils of Giffard Orgeat, and there's a little bit of rose water through that as well. So
Okay.
it's almonds macerated, little touch of rose water. Some Orgeat could use things like barley, etc., to thicken it up a little bit. So it's like a
That's
very
all.
thick sort of sugar syrup that's flavoured. We've done 20 mils of Pierre Ferrand Curaçao, or triple sec. Okay? So this
Okay.
product itself, while you taste
Okay, one
it,
sec.
we have two products here that are traditional Curaçaos. So one is Grand Marnier, which is a 51% cognac base that's macerated with Caribbean oranges, bitter oranges. And there's a little bit of grain alcohol through there as well. It's got 234 milligrams of sugar per litre. So it's very, very sweet. But until Pierre Ferrand came along, and there are some great Curaçaos and triple secs in the market from other companies, but none quite so sort of sweet and bitter at the same time and has that dryness as this Curaçao. This is an old recipe that David Wondrich and Audrey Saunders found. And in that recipe card, it had 10 different recipes on it that went from sort of bathtub Curaçao through to the very best blend of Curaçao and how it was made. And this was number 10 on the list. So they chose that, they looked at it, they got it into production with Pierre Ferrand, and they've made this wonderful, wonderful dry Curaçao. So as well, I've got to thank a few people while we're here. There are other rums up here, which we'll explain as well. I've got to thank Plantation for helping us out with some of their rums. Specialty Drinks, Declan McGurk, Raj and Sakinder, they helped us out with the Smith and Cross, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
So you, Declan?
And the actual Trois Rivières. So thank you very much for all your help, everyone, in bringing these products together.
Judges, do you want to add anything to that?
Should we describe the drink as we see it?
Yeah, why don't you?
Well, you have really a wonderful balance here. That's the key. You've got a nice piece of ice that's going to keep this drink cold without diluting too much. In our case here, you don't have it with your taster, but the rind of the lemon and the mint is a wonderful addition for the aromatics. And the key to this drink, in my mind, to make it right, we've had so many bad ones. And they're sweet, and they're syrupy, and they're out of balance. But here we have a wonderful balance of the lime and the orange liqueur. And we have a wonderful balance in there also of the wildness of the Ray and Nephew and the elegance of the 12. And then the last ingredient that brings it all together, the orgeat, the almond flavor. And then there's some subtleties in here of a little herbal essence or something. And I think that comes from the dry Curaçao, which is such a great addition to a bartender's cabinet now, because the lesser, the sweeter orange liqueurs cannot make a great Mai Tai. But here we have one that certainly is highly recommended, and well done, gentlemen. Well done.
Yeah, I guess, and of course what we're really looking for here is a drink that shows rum to the best effect. You know, a poor rum will get lost in this drink, but it's also paying homage to the recipe that Diane brought out. You've got all the elements in there: the sweet, the sour, the weak, the rum. Yeah, they're strong. It's the weak will get found out though. When I'm talking about rum, the weak rums will get found out in this one. You will lose it entirely.
When Vic was thinking about this drink, he went against what he was normally doing with most exotic cocktails, which were a celebration of a wild kind of mix of flavors all working together and being exciting and invigorating these 7, 9, 11 ingredient drinks that are wonderful and complex and exciting. But what he said was, I want this drink to simply showcase the 17-year rum. So I'm going to create a drink that's much simpler in nature, that just works as an accent to the great rum. And that's the genius of this drink, because obviously lime is and will forever be rum's best friend. and it's just a perfect, the nice orange notes, the little hint of almond. Vic was of French extraction, and he loved orgeat. He used it in a lot of recipes. Don didn't use it. And so, but just a touch, just a subtle touch, they're wonderful accent pieces to great rum, and that's absolutely key. This would have been made traditionally with crushed ice, a big fistful of crushed ice, because it was kind of rich ingredients, and crushed ice would let it kind of slowly dilute. A great Mai Tai with crushed ice kind of tastes better after about 10 minutes. After it sits a little bit, you get a nice frost on the glass as well. But Vic used to say the garnish, because he would squeeze the lime shell and then he would drop it on top and he put the mint sprig next to it. He used to say it was like a little desert island with a little palm tree sitting on top of your drink. So it was a really perfect, elegant element, and you're getting, because you've just pressed that lime, so you're getting all those peel oils off the surface of the lime right at your nose along with the mint sprig. So it all comes together, total sensory experience.
Guys, you seem to talk quite a lot about aroma there, with the lime, the mint. A big part in making drinks now, isn't it? It's a big, big trick. Like every good chef knows, majority about aroma, about that first impression. I think the Mai Tai live up to that with the mint and the lime. I seen you mentioning the curacao, the quality of the curacao, a very important aspect. Some of them being over sweet, too rounded, and too sweet in nature, but not flavour in terms of orange. So you think a curacao a big part in it?
Yeah, I think that if we go back to the classic era, if you will, of American cocktails, where these wonderful concoctions were first invented, there was not a tendency to go with a sweet product. And over time, I think it's changed, and we're coming back. And that's why the research done on the Curacao was well done. Just as research done on an old-style cognac or brandy is bringing back something that has the notes that they would have had in the classic cocktail day. You can't ruin an otherwise great drink like this with a syrupy orange liqueur. It would be completely ruined. And thank God we have here just recently, another wonderful ingredient. This dry curacao from Cognac Ferrand has only been out about a year, would you say?
Oh yeah, it's very, very new. And when I talked with Alexandre in France about it, and he said, well, I hope people like it. And the first thing I said to him was, make more. Make lots and lots more immediately, because it is superb. Even more important, I think, than whether or not, what the sugar content of the liqueur is, even more important to me is that it's real. It is real dried, bitter Curacao orange peels. It is real aged brandy and cognac in the blend, in the base. It's just a really honest, authentic product that just absolutely is taking things to the next level, and it's just wonderful. At least, we really suffer, I can't speak to the market here, but we really suffer in the States with a lot of genuinely terrible orange liqueurs. There are a lot of bottom shelfers that have never seen a real orange in their life. They're full of high fructose corn syrup and terrible things, and made with terrible distillates. So it's just really fantastic having this back, and it immediately flew head first into our house Mai Tai recipe without even a bat of an eye the minute it was available in California.
We got is this a Trader Vic's second?
So this is the Trader Vic's Mai Tai. So like we said, we've used equal parts, 25 mils lime, 25 mils Appleton 8-year-old, 25 mils of we've taken this agricole, Trois Rivières. We've done just under 20 mils of the Curacao, 10 mils of rock candy syrup, and 12 and a half mils of orgeat. It's very, very close to that recipe.
So what's the difference? What's the micro difference between the first and the second?
Well, the first...
Because not many people know, Jamie, and that's what we need to get across, yeah?
So I'll run you through a couple of recipes here, actually.
Judges, the difference between number 1 and number 2?
Straight away, you get a difference on the nose. As you get your nose into the glass, the whole approach is different.
It shows you the obvious difference of changing the rums. Most of the other ingredients are about the same. I get a little more creaminess here. I get a little more rum flavor mid-palate that I like. I like this one a lot. This is wonderful. And still the same wonderful aromatics. Not too sweet. A touch sweeter. Not too sweet.
Nice. Same for you? Big difference?
Yeah, no, absolutely noticeable. I mean, an unaged... this is the one with the Trois Rivières, right? Trois Rivières?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's particularly using an unaged agricole. It brings the bright, kind of unaged agricole versus unaged pot still it's a huge difference. But I mean, it's it's bringing that bright, dry, kind of grassy character from the fresh pressed cane juice more than sort of the ripe banana, heavy fruit character from those big conjures in the Ray and Nephew. So it's dramatically different in terms of the rum blend. I think you'll notice it right away.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting the Trois Rivières coming through much more heavily.
Is there a difference in ABV there from the Trois Rivières and the Ray?
Sorry, yeah. So ABVs are quite important. Trois Rivières is 50 ABV.
50?
The 8-year-old is 43% ABV.
Yeah.
The 12-year-old's 43% ABV.
So the Trois Rivières coming through.
And if you remember, we were using the Ray and Nephew, which is 63% ABV. So I'm gonna make the number 2s again with some crushed ice just for the judges, and Ali's got some samples coming out.
We got your back up with that one, didn't we?
What's that?
No, we like the cubes, man. You guys doing it proper, which is great to see. Guys, can we give the bartenders here, the Appleton Ambassadors, big round of applause. Aren't they putting on a great show? They are indeed. Guys have spent no measure of preparation, so big respect. It's good to see some prepared bartenders. And what you do before service, not during service, that matter. These guys came prepared, which is good to see. We got some professionals on stage. Jamie, yeah, you've got a question there from the judges. Excellent. Jamie.
What was the proportions on that Tradovic number 2 of the rums? Was it equal measures?
Yeah, it was equal parts. What I've got down as recipes equal parts. This is the thing. There are varying recipes. I have had Jeff Masson. I've got the 1947 Trader Vic's book. The drink was made in 1944, but it didn't actually come into print until about 1970, 1971, 1972. So the actual print in 1947, and he has these wonderful books down here. This is a 1947 copy, and in that there's no recipe for a Mai Tai. But incredibly, Trader Vic takes a very classic approach to making drinks, which are, if you think about the classics like the Manhattans, the Old Fashions, very, very simple ingredients, not very many ingredients, a lot of his own personal drinks are that kind of style. And the guys are right, when he wanted to make a drink, he wanted to showcase that rum, the 17-year-old, but he wanted to make a drink that was a tiki classic that would stand out. So like a martini, like a Manhattan, like a swizzle, he wanted something that predominantly spoke of that modern era of tiki. And it had to be classic, it had to be a very elegant drink as well, which is what the Mai Tai should be.
Judges agreed?
It's a good question for Martin, actually, this one, and also Jamie. If you took the rums to start with and you allowed them to marry together for a while before you made your Mai Tai, do you think you'd get a better or different approach?
I think you would get some subtle differences. Yeah, absolutely. If you let the Jamaican and the agricole sit together for a little while, yeah, you'd probably see some changes, but I'm not sure it'd be pronounced enough to make that much of a difference in the final result. I mean, we've spent so much time geeking out on this. I've spent time looking at agricultural records of how big limes would have been in 1940. We know what kind of species of lime he used, because it's one of my most hated things ever in a cocktail recipe is anytime you see the words juice of one lime, because that is awful, because throughout any season, as I get limes in California, we have California grown limes, we have Mexican grown limes, we have the yield in a lime can vary anywhere from, well, hang on, let me go metric for a second, can vary anywhere from like say 20 mils to even as much as 100 mils in a single lime. I mean, we know he was using a Persian or a Bear's lime. I've got enough information to confirm that. He wasn't using key limes, the little tiny guys. So he's using this hybrid, this big guy. But that's one of the most frustrating things, because you're saying, God, how much lime juice did he really put in this drink? Because it isn't. So we vary it. We quantify it in the recipe. We say it should be this much, because I can't count on the lime to yield the same thing in June as it does in January.
I think one thing Vic was doing, and he left us with something wonderful here, and that bartenders will have no trouble playing with for the rest of their lives, is that the combination of a good orange and the orgeat and the lime is a wonderful little nest to build to put rum in. And the rum must be rich.
Like that little nest.
The rum must play through. And we're getting lots of wonderful rums in this world now, and the range of rums is expanding. And one way to test a rum against others is to put it in this little nest and see how it plays through. And you can put a lot of rum in this drink. I personally want to thank the bartenders for doing such a wonderful job.
Yeah, guys,
the research was fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think first up, can we? I'm going to big round of applause for everyone here. I'm sure. Did you thoroughly enjoy the Mai Tai debate with Appleton's rum? Yeah, it was very good. Yeah, great. So let's give up for Pete Holland. Yep, from thefloatingrumshack.com. Thefloatingrumshack.com. Go and check it out. A lot of videos. Nice little bit of blog. Thefloatingrumshack.com.
Floatingrumshack.com.
Excellent. Let's hear it for Robert from the Miami Rum Renaissance. Renaissance. And let's hear it for Martin Kate. Yeah, come on. Let's hear it. This man here. Smuggler's Cove. Yeah? Smugglerscove.com.
One more thing.
One more thing from Jamie.
So there's one more thing, okay? What I like about this debate is if we're enjoying that Ray nephew and that 12-year-old, that means Beach Bum's going to come back and go, we're going to have to carry this on. Because he got to the conclusion it was Agricole and 12-year-old for him. We've got the conclusion it's Ray and 12-year-old here for us right now. A great meeting of minds. So hopefully, and I was hoping this might turn out that way.
Maybe next time at a boxing ring.
We can extend this. Maybe a Rum Renaissance.
That's it.
That's it. We might be there.
We can sort out some Ray nephew speedos. Yeah, get the boys in gloves. Do it proper. Guys, let's hear it for Jamie McDonald. Yeah, come on, and Ali Reynolds. The Appleton's Rum Ambassadors. Guys, huge applause for everyone here. That was the Appleton's Mai Tai debate. We'll see you in an hour for the next talk, maybe half an hour.